lighting up the blaze. First wave out when the engines turn. One runs hot, one slow to burn. Back and forth like they've done for years. Half in shout and half in gears. No bright spotlight, no grand parade. Just the kind of men the mission made. When the line bends, they hold it fast. One drops steel and one rolls past. One reads distance, one reads ground. One drops warning, one brings the sound. Steel and fire, brothers in the fight. One brings the thunder, one keeps it tight. Steel and fire, rolling through the haze. Two old soldiers, light up the blaze. Hey, 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 hey. Mobat rolling iron hide, heavy tracks and battle ride. Main gun calling through the smoke. Hit the line and let it choke. Range is set and pressure climbs. Math and metal, gears and time. Side by side with blacktop bends. Best damn steel that rides with friends. Forward, steel and fire. Forward, hold the line. Forward, brothers riding right on time. Steel and fire, brothers in the fight. One brings the thunder, one keeps it tight. Steel and fire, rolling through the haze. Two old soldiers, lighting up the blaze. No glory, boys, no wasted breath. Just dying trust and fire and death. Steel and fire, steel and fire. Forward. Yo, Joe, listen up, I got a story to tell about a guy named Logan. Oh, he's so swell.
Wait, that's me.
I'm the G.I. Joe gamer, cool and witty. Talking about those characters, heroes and villains. On Wednesday nights we shout, Yo, Joe,
Or Cobra.
talking about the Joe team and a Cobra tide. Yo, Joe, Cobra, Cobra. I'm here to give my G.I. Joe takes. Oh yeah, Yo, Cobra, Cobra. Joe's got snake eyes, the silent ninja in black. Quick with his swords, he'll give you a heart attack. Then there's Duke, the leader, so bold, gung-ho, always ready to fight and make those cameos. And we can't forget about Scarlet, the ultimate girl power. A fierce warrior, she'll make her enemies cower. Cobra's got Destro to supply the weapons. Cobra Commander plots and schemes, see ruling the world in his dreams. Zartan is never what he seems, and Baroness rocks that black leather outfit. Shoot you quick and slip out the back of the pit. Yo, Joe, Cobra, Cobra. I'm here to give my G.I. Joe takes. Oh yeah, Yo, Cobra, Cobra.
Talking about the characters. It's a G.I. Joe thing.
Oh yeah! Let's do this.
Mature content warning. On Logan's Joe Takes, strategic commentary may include strong language, heated opinions, classified references. Time to call in the Joes. Opposing forces may attempt audio interference. Logan's Joe Takes. Mission begins now.
Yo, Joe, I'm Logan, the G.I. Joe Gamer. Back for season 4 of this show. And if you're not familiar with it, what we do here is I show off some figures, maybe some comics, we talk cartoon, we talk the figures, and basically I just give my opinion on the characters that I'm checking out in that week. And so welcome to Joe Takes. This is episode 78, and today kick off the new season that I'm going to be doing every week all summer long. For a total of 12 episodes this summer. And then I've got a special coming up on episode 90 will be on Veterans Day, or Veterans Day Salute. And then we'll do the second half of the season a little later after that. But today I'm looking at 2 of the original 13 Joes. We're talking Steeler and Short-Fuze. And let me do this here. I am going to put on some background music while I chat, so that we can enjoy the session. Now I'm going to start with Steeler because I'm really going to be looking at the classified 2-pack. But you got to start with one of the 2 characters. So we're going to start with Steeler. Now, Steeler originally came with something that looked like this. This is the exact. This is not from '82 or '83 when it originally came out, 1982 and '83. But this one came out with the Ultimate Battles Pack in 2008. It did not come with this particular figure because I do not have a 1982 or 83 Steeler. This one came with a comic pack that also included General Flag and a Cobra officer. Now, I thought it looked really cool. But this is the only O-ring Steeler that I have. I have 2 other Steeler figures I'm going to show you. And one did come with this tank with the Ultimate Battles Pack and a Short-Fuze, which is kind of funny because they've been packaged together once before. It's kind of nice that they brought them out together again. But this comic pack Steeler came out really cool. The original Steeler had a lighter jacket, more like the classified. I'll show you, but this was a decent one. I didn't really care for the white visor, but other than that, because the original one has this really cool black visor, it was really cool. But we set this here and talk a little bit about the Mobat, which is what he came with originally. Now this actually, if you do it right, it compacts. So for storage, so you can just slide it out, and this piece comes off. This little, I don't know why it comes off. It's this little peg piece, and it's like a little gun that he has there for him. It just pegs on like a backpack peg. It's kind of interesting. It just kind of pegs right on there. And so whether it's okay, it has to go specifically like that. That open space on the bottom, be able to go on the bottom. But when you put batteries in it, which I don't have any batteries in it, because if you leave batteries in a toy, they explode. So you don't want that. So you just open up the bottom. There's a couple of screw holes right here and right here, and it comes with, I think it's deep batteries that it uses, but this is old school. You would push this forward. The tank would go forward. If you turn the turret part here at the top, it would turn it back, it would turn back, and it would move forward all on its own. And if you pushed it back, it would go backwards. It was kind of cool. Nice little feature. But the thing about this tank that was never cool was that the figure just sat right here on the top. And it's like this tank really was never built for G.I. Joe action figures. It was probably made for something else. And they didn't know what to do with it, so they included it with the G.I. Joe line when they brought it out. But I thought it was a cool tank. They replaced it with the Mauler in 1985, which had 2 spaces for the Joes to fit in. You could push them all the way on there and close the hatches. It was a much better version of this. However, they came out with in the 2000s a tank called the Patriot Grizzly that had a spot on the top that you had it had the hatch that you could close over the figure, which was awesome. It was motorized. I wanted to show that one off, but it's in my storage and I couldn't find it. I do have another version of this tank that's kind of camouflaged that I got in 1998. It came with a heavy duty and Thunderwing, which is basically a Thunder figure, but Thunder was dead, so they gave him a new file card and went on with that. Now that particular tank in the Ultimate Battles pack came with this Steeler. Now he did have a helmet that's the same color as the outfit and a black visor, but I was unable to locate that. I made the mistake of, in my younger years, of putting all my accessories and just throwing them in a bag together. But that helmet looks something like this because later on, the same year actually, 2008, I acquired another Steeler, which this isn't the gun he came with. But the helmets didn't stay on very well for the modern 25th anniversary figures. But this one came with an Armadillo tank, which was really cool, versus Serpentor and the Air Chariot. It was a nice set. And I acquired the Ultimate Battle set a little later, and it was nice. But it was nice to have the OG looking Steeler. He looked more like this. Now in the cartoon, they always made his shirt lighter and his hair blonde, even though he's brunette. But yeah, those two Steelers I acquired in the 25th anniversary line in 2008. And we'll get to the classified in a little bit, but we're going to move on to Short-Fuze here. I do have a 1982 Short-Fuze. It was given to me by a buddy of mine, so I didn't get any of the accessories or anything with it, or the file card, which I miss. And we'll get into the file cards here in a bit before we start talking about the characters. However, at some point, I did acquire his backpack, but I never reacquired a visor. Those visors are really fragile and hard to come by, and expensive to try and buy on their own. Not worth it for just a little piece of plastic when you can get a repro probably for cheaper. Now, I played with this figure so much that I broke his arms all apart because he was a straight arm and not a swivel arm. He was from 1982. And so I replaced his arms with a 1990 gridiron. Doesn't really have that good of a look to it. But ironically enough, when I show you the classified, it's kind of funny how they years later brought out a classified with a very similar looking, at least the color on the shirt, not the top part. Well, I did acquire a backpack at some point, and I don't even know where, but it's definitely a Short-Fuze backpack. And then for his mortar, which is all he came with other than the visor and the backpack, it was a black mortar, and this came with the accessories pack, the very first accessories pack. And so I had a mortar for him because I had the accessories pack. And so that's my original Short-Fuze, my Frankenstein Short-Fuze. And I will show you, he's a blonde and looks so much. Same head sculpt as the original Hawk, which they've got up there in my vamp. Oh, there it is. There. Yeah. He's there with Clutch in my vamp. I have the MMS back here somewhere, but I'm missing my a little piece that connects the missiles to the launcher. So it's around here somewhere. I just moved everything into my new studio, so I've got everything all set up now. But yeah, that's my original Short-Fuze. Now, I did acquire another Short-Fuze in 2005 with a comic book pack. It came with a rock and roll, which is a really cool looking rock and roll, and a Flash that was an astronaut Flash. But Flash was never an astronaut, but it was kind of cool because there was an issue of the comics where they all went to space. Well, three of them went. Two of them, I think, it was Breaker and Flash. But for some reason, the comic pack came with Short-Fuze with this mortar, which is kind of weird. It's not the same design, but it's a pretty cool looking Short-Fuze. For the first time, he had his glasses, which they always portrayed him with glasses in the comics, not in the cartoon. We'll get, like I said, we'll talk about that in a bit, but because I did watch a few episodes to catch up on my characters here. Now, in the Ultimate Battles pack, that came with 7 figures. It came with a Red Hiss tank. It came with the Mobat and a Trouble Bubble. It also came with a Cobra Commander, a Hiss Driver, another Cobra figure, and Destro. But it also came with Short-Fuze and Stalker. And so what I liked about the modern 25th anniversary figures is that the guns actually would go in the holsters, and he came with a knife as well right there. The camera, he's got a knife there on the side, and you know, I'm not going to bother taking out all these little accessories because I'm prone to dropping everything. And he has a second pistol in the holster right there. I don't know if it's stick properly, but yeah, he's got a second holster right there. So he has two pistols and a knife, and then he came with a mortar, which is the exact same mold as the original. And for some reason, they went back to the original because just 3 years earlier, they came out with this one in 2005, but totally different mold. And it, you know, it's not bad. I like the original one better, so I'm glad I actually have a black one to match up with my Short-Fuze. So technically, going by that, I have all the accessories I need for Short-Fuze except for the visor. Now, these two figures came in a 2-pack. Now, I'm going to take a look at the box here. Now, we're talking number 181 in the series. So the series, they're already well over 200. They got stuff coming out right now. 222 is the latest number I've seen, but they probably are past that. G.I. Joe, Ralph Steeler Pulaski, and Short-Fuze. I don't know why they didn't say Eric. Short-Fuze strikes that, but you know, for some reason they only gave the name of one Joe on this. And then, you know, you got the back that shows the figures and some of the stuff that came with, which is cool. I really think this box is a really nice set. But it was like a Target exclusive, but yeah, it was also on Hasbro Pulse. So there were a couple ways to pick it up. I got mine through Target, which was nice when it came out. But I love that side art on the box. Now, you know, they came packaged inside in the bubble. The reason why I'm showing you it like this is because it also came with these blast effects, which I display them on the at the end of the. I'll show a video, Beyond Joe Takes 78, where it shows them in poses and stuff with the blast effects. So you'll be able to get a good look at them then. But they're really easy to lose, so I keep them in the package as much as I can. I have several versions of that. Originally came with the Vipers. And there you go, this box. So we'll start with Short-Fuze, or Steeler, not Short-Fuze. And like I said, this is more in line with the original. I mean, they even got like zippers molded on right here for pockets on both arms. It's really cool. Let me see who we got here. We got Jess in the house. Hey, Jess. Sorry, I just jumped right into Jess and Cool Gamer. Hey, what's up? Saying hi to everybody. And now we have Solo Center 112. They put the real name on the boxes if the call sign can be confused with other brands. CoverGirl had to show as Courtney. CoverGirl, they have various reasons for it, but if they're going to do one, they should do the other. At least that's how I think. But welcome in, Solo Center. Hope you enjoy my Joe Take. I just give my opinion on the figures and show off the figures. So, we'll say hello in the chat proper to Solo Center. That's a cool handle there, buddy. Okay, 112. We'll go with that for the first time at least. Which figure was it that had the pretend plastic flames? A couple of them. Blowtorch has pretend plastic flames, and so does Torch from the Dreadnought. So, yeah. So welcome in, Solo Center. Cool Gamer, Jess, welcome back, my friends. But this is Short-Fuze. Now, he originally came with that Mac 10 with the silencer on it, suppressor, as it were. We've been indoctrinated with movies and shit to call them silencers, but they were suppressors. And this one actually, it comes off and it goes back on, so it's kind of cool. So you can actually put it on his pistol also. And he's got a pistol in the holster there. And he came with a knife. I will pop that one out and show you, and I will show you the pistol as well. But he also came with, for some reason, they gave him a sheath for his entrenching tool, his shovel, it's kind of cool. And then he's got the visor that, goes up and has the microphone there for the comms, which I thought was really cool. The really cool classified edition. And we'll pop the helmet off, and I'll show you what he looks like without the helmet, because he looks pretty cool. He's got a decent head sculpt. Let's see if I can get that on there really good. And you have a little stubble down there, like Steeler always had stubble. In the cartoon, they made him a blonde. I don't know why, but let's check out his sidearm out of his holster. Now, like I said, you can take the suppressor off the MAC-10 and put it right on his pistol if my old shaky hands will work. So I thought that was kind of cool. A nice addition to this figure. That you could swap the suppressor for both weapons. And then, you know, got Short-Fuze. Now, what is significant about Short-Fuze is he was the first of the OG 13, at least to me. Full Center saying hi. That's cool. Welcome in now. I'm glad we get somebody new. Now, he came with a very cool mortar that can go onto his backpack. One mortar shell. I think he should have come with 3, and there should have been places on his backpack to snap them on there, but they didn't. Now, this just attaches to the bottom, and you can swivel it around and adjust it a little bit so you can adjust it to the terrain. But then when you put it on the backpack, you pop it into this hole right here on the side of the mortar, and you set it down like that, and it'll go on his backpack, which I'll show you how that works in just a second. But he came with a standard machine gun with the magazine that pops in and out. It looks like a Wakando gun. They like to mix and match some of these. And the OG guys had just OG weapons. And he came with an extra rifle, an Outback rifle. I love this gun. And they have given it out with a lot of different characters. And yeah, the magazine pops out and pops back in there, so you can see it without the magazine. And then it just slides right back in. My old hands can do it. There we go. And, you know, he came with, now originally he just came with a visor. I'll take the backpack off. I'll show you how that works with the mortar in a minute. He came with a combat knife, standard combat knife, sidearm, and a combat knife. They both came with sidearms and combat knife, which is cool, because I think every Joe should have a sidearm and a combat knife. It's just my pet peeve. Now, it's odd because he has a radio sculpted onto his web gear or his tactical gear, or whatever you want to call it. And then he has the comms on his helmet. But so you can display him with or without the helmet. Now, his visor does come up, which is pretty cool. And then he has his glasses. Now, his glasses, it's a really pain in the butt to put the glasses on while the helmet's on. So I'm not going to try to do that on camera, put them back on, but I will leave them on here as I take the helmet off for display. And I'll show you what it looks like without the helmet on. So they have pretty good head sculpt. And the glasses are pretty cool. They slide on and off pretty easy. And unlike some of the other figures, they actually stay on pretty good once you get them on. It is difficult to put the glasses and the helmet on at the same time. So if you display him without the helmet, he does have an extra radio, I guess. How do those glasses stay on his face? See where his ears are? They kind of clip on his ears and his nose in 3 places. And it's tight enough that it stays on. Now, some of them don't stay on very well. Like I said, Buzzer was a really bad example for what not to do with glasses. Hello, Christopher Works. What's up, Chris? Good to see you. Talking Short-Fuze and Steeler tonight. And like I was saying, Short-Fuze was my very first of the original 13 Joes that I ever acquired, given to me by a friend. Just the figure. It was a straight arm. And I played with this figure to death, to the point where I had to swap his arms out for a Gridiron Arms from 1990. That looked fairly good on the character. But like I said, it matches up with his shirt, which is different color than his pants. On the original, they were the same color, as you can see. Pants and shirt, same color. But I like it that they did it in a different color. Now, if they do a retro Short-Fuze, which they might do, then what we might have there is a one-tone shirt, which is what they did with Grunt. They got a Grunt retro Grunt out, and they brought a Grunt out, and he had a different colored shirt and a different colored pants, which was cool, different. But let's compare Short-Fuze Steeler up to this modern 25th anniversary Steeler, and you can see this is very much modeled after the original Steeler. So I thought they did a good job, and the head sculpt just awesome. However, with Short-Fuze, they made him look a little younger and gave him a little bit of a different haircut than Hawk, but it looks very similar to the Hawk head. Just like originally they had the same head in the 1982-83 figures. But that's the figures. We'll set them aside here, and we'll get into the characters a little bit. So let me set all these accessories over here, but I did want to show you how the mortar sets up on the backpack before I forget. So it just kind of sets in there. Now, they have these little pegs here, but the missiles, the mortar shells, do not fit in there very well. They fall right out. So if they had given you 3, this is the best way to actually store it, which makes no sense when you're carrying it. You might accidentally go off. I don't know why you would store it that way, but in order to keep it on the backpack, that's the best way to store it for the figure. But it just clips right inside the backpack there and pops off really easy. And like I said, this has this little rack here that pops down, so you can set your mortar right on there, which is kind of cool. I thought it was a neat little backpack. And I did love how it had the duo design where you could pop the stand off and set it up that way, or when you put it on the backpack, you just load it up like that. Pretty cool. So yeah, I'm gonna pop it. Oh, wouldn't be a Joe take if I didn't drop something. And of course, now I can't find it. Oh, where did you go? Oh, the places you'll go. There it is. Okay. Same color as my floor. All right, so we pop that back on there. So I can set this over there, and we'll start talking characters. Okay, Short-Fuze's helmet. Keep all their gear over here in the rear with the gear. Okay. All right, it's good to see everybody today. Everybody's doing good. Tired, but otherwise good. Working stupid long days lately. I get that. Been there, done that, my friend. All right, I will be showing you some comics here in a little bit. Not many comics had Short-Fuze and Steeler on the cover, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But we need to get into the characters, and we're going to start with Steeler because it's Steeler and Short-Fuze. So we're going to do it that way, and we shut this music off. And I have a song that I have made for each character, and I have a file card video for each character. So each song is about an average size of the song, and then less than 3 minutes for each of the file cards. In fact, they're only just over 2 minutes each, the file cards. So we'll start with Steeler, and here's his song "Steel Treads" by my AI personality Brad Gamison, and then we'll jump into the file card, and then we'll talk his history a little bit, Steeler in comics and the cartoon and in other media, and then we'll talk Short-Fuze. So let's start with Steeler.
Roll it out, steel in line, engines up, right on time. miles ahead, I drive the line where others dread. No silver tongue, no polished grin, just grit and gears and discipline. Tracks bite hard and engines growl. When armor moves, you hear it loud. Hold the course, ride the weight, read the ground, seal their fate. Steel treads, rolling through the fire. Cold steel, taking everything higher. No flash, no wasted breath, just iron will and a road through death. Fort Knox taught me how to read steel and dirt and weight and speed. Know the grade and know the turn, know how fast the armor burns. Know that speaks in smoke and flame, heavy thunder, clean and plain. Pointer forward, hold her true, break the line and drive it through. Feel the shake, hold the line, trust the steel every time. Steel treads, rolling through the fire. Cold steel, taking everything higher. No flash, no wasted breath, just iron will and a road through death. Medals, no parade, just the road the mission made. Engine heat and blacktop scars, war is stealing who you are. Drive a steady, gun runs hot, hold the lane and make the shot. One way through and one way past, keep her moving, make it last. Build the body to match the tank, be sure to never draw a blank. Mind, body and wheels all steel, I hammer them all into places real. Forward, hold the line, forward, right on time, forward. Iron thunder, let it ride. Steel treads, rolling through the fire. Cold steel, taking everything higher. No flash, no wasted breath, just iron will and a road through death. Roll it out, steel in line, engines up, right on time. Steel treads, keep rolling on. He'll fight for freedom. Yo, Joe! Code name Steeler. Tank Commander. File name Ralph Pulaski. Grade O2. First Lieutenant U.S. Army. Birthplace Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Primary specialty Armor Officer. Secondary specialty Artillery. Transportation 88A. Graduated Armor School, top of class. Catering XFV project. Artillery School. AFV Desert Exercise. Covert Ops School. He's familiar and proficient with all NATO and Warsaw Pact AFVs. Preferred weapon Mobat, tank or Uzi. Coming from a blue-collar middle-class background in which you proved your mettle through physical contests. He frequently challenges team members to tests of strength and stamina. He put himself through college on an ROTC scholarship and worked as a heavy equipment operator. Steeler was selected as the executive officer in charge of the G.I. Joe team's tank division as one of its original situation requires more than stealth, and we just need to blast our way through something. That's where Steeler comes in. Luckily, he instinctively knows when to come knocking, but it seems every time I try to give him an order, he conveniently has to test fire his weapons. Prove you're right, prove you're tough, then drop and give me 50.
Just got done with my vacation, Chris, so I know. I wish you a good time, sir, and enjoy it while you can. All right. There is something I wanted to talk about with one of the figures, other than like you were saying, yeah, it doesn't seem to interfere with his movement at all. And same with Steeler. Steeler's you would think that his sidearm would interfere, but this moves. It swivels back and forth on there, and it actually comes right off, if I remember right. I don't like to mess with the plastic too much, because if it gets loose, then it doesn't stay on very well. That's just the nature of the game with the gummy plastic that they use. All right, so for Steeler, Steeler is a cool character. Not one that got a lot of attention. Let me see if I can get some Shumadish music on in the background. But he was in the first 10 comics, just like all the rest of the original 13. But you know, other than the first issue, he was one of the main stars of issue 4, which we'll take a look at in the comics. In the cartoon, him and Short-Fuze had this bit where on the mass device they came up with a satellite busting rocket, and of course it didn't work, but it was worth a shot. And I love the way the two of them bantered. Short-Fuze was like, Steeler was like, "You're taking too long." He says, "Yeah, but I got to tell him my way." And Steeler was voiced by Chris Latta, and Short-Fuze was voiced by Frank Welker, two legends in the voice acting industry, which was cool. Short-Fuze had a bit on one of the episodes where Arta Cobra, Lady J, and Flint called him to pick his brain, and he helped them determine where Cobra was going to strike next, because Short-Fuze is supposed to be, into pop culture and comic books and things of that nature. And but for Steeler, he had the 2-episode arc in Worlds Without End, where Joe's got trapped in another dimension, and him, Grunt, and Clutch decided to stay and rebuild G.I. Joe in the other universe. It was kind of cool. So if you have not seen Worlds Without End in the Sunbow cartoon, check it out. It's my favorite episode. It's a 2-parter, but altogether, it's my favorite cartoon episode of the series. So in the comics, Steeler had another bit later on where him and another tank driver were kind of busting the chops of the ground pounders, but then the ground pounders saved them. Where him and Rock and Roll were bantering back and forth, almost like they weren't friends, but they were part of the original team together. And those guys, they became like brothers. So in the comics, so it's kind of hard to say. But in the comic book series, they say that all original 13 Joes are on the cover of issue 1, but they are not. You have Hawk there in the middle. There's Steeler, so he is on the cover. Short-Fuze is not. You got Clutch back here. You got Scarlet and Stalker, and then you got Flash, and then you got Grunt on the cover. So of the original 13, you only have 7. So there are 6 that aren't on there, and Short-Fuze is one of them. But if you Google it, it says Short-Fuze is on the cover of G.I. Joe #1. It says all 13 Joes are, but they are not. So that is a Google myth, or internet myth maybe. I don't know. This is a repro of the cover number 1. I don't know why they threw Snake Eyes on there. That's kind of cool. Hawk looks more like Duke for some reason, but Steeler's back there. And then you've got Flash over here, Scarlet. You got Roadblock in the middle. It should have been Rock and Roll, whatever, or Stalker, like on the original. It's kind of cool that they threw Snake Eyes in. I don't know why they had Duke up there because he wasn't even in the issue. This is a reprint of issue number 1 without Hot Potato because there's 2 stories in the original. But Steeler's big adventure was issue 4, where Breaker popped the bubble and made him think, Cobra think that the tank was armed because they were at a parade showing off the Mobat. And Cobra attacked the parade, and the tank. It shows the tank firing here on the cover, but it's unarmed because it's at a parade. And so it was a really cool issue. I mean, Steeler led the team on this one. And then that was pretty much it. I mean, like I said, they were there, Short-Fuse and Steeler throughout the series. I wish I had I still had my old G.I. Joe comics. Yeah, dude, I'm glad I kept mine, dude. I have most of the series. I'm missing like 15 issues still. But Per gifted me the entire set in a 4 hardbound volume. I've got it over there, and I want it on display over here, but I haven't found a spot where it fits just yet. I might set it up so I put stuff on top of it, but we'll see. But yeah, this was Steeler's big it, and they show that's supposed to be Steeler there, but it looks like Flash or Grand Slam, and so does that. But I don't think Flash was even in this one or Grand Slam. I'm pretty sure it was Breaker, Steeler, and Clutch. That's who was in this one. But yeah, I always keep my next issue on the back. So yeah, I've got a few there. I do have, in case you're curious, I do have issue 2. One of the most famous Joe comics. But the only comic book covers that Short-Fuse was ever on was the Classified number 1 that came out in the IDW line. There he is right there. And this is kind of and I'll bust this out so you can see it. It was a 3-issue limited series, and what they did was they had this whole thing as one big image. And I don't know if I've got it set up right, but that's kind of how it was. And then it continued on over into issue 3. And it had all original 13 Joes on this cover, but not the original number 1. But the declassified series 1 through 3, it does have them all. And you've got Short-Fuse and Steeler right there together, right next to each other on the cover. So I thought that was pretty cool. This was really cool. It had a storyline that happened before issue number 1 and kind of after. And so it was an interesting storyline written by Larry Hama. So if you can pick it up, it was by Devil's Due Press publishing. It's a pretty cool little series that Larry Hama wrote. And then he went on to write the IDW stuff and started his series up again all the way back from 155 and a half to 300. And then now he's doing Skybound, where he's back writing his series as well. So as far as Short-Fuse and otherwise in the cartoon, the only other episode I remember Short-Fuse being in was Battle for the Trinity Gold, which I watched again today. And he had a really fun scene where he was trying to ride a horse and he got bucked off. It was pretty funny, but then they got the horses together and went after the bullet train. If you've seen the episode, if you know, you know, and if you're not, never mind. But no, Battle for the Trinity Gold is one of the coolest of the animated episodes for G.I. Joe. One of the main characters really is Gung Ho in that one. Gung Ho, Stalker. Zap is in that one too. So they have some of the OG Joe, Stalker, Scarlet, Snake Eyes, and Duke were got captured by Cobra, by Zartan, and a bunch of Cobras, and they basically used them as collateral so they wouldn't be attacked, but it didn't work. So Joe's attacked anyway, and basically they were going to kill him and they were going to throw him off the train. And they threw Snake Eyes out first, which was a mistake. So naturally he grabbed onto the train and then threw himself back into the train and started kicking butt after he freed himself. But it was a nice Snake Eyes scene, but it was nice that Short-Fuse had some lines in that one too. Um, but his lines in that were mostly complaining. And then you have him in the movie, and then there was a scene with him and Zap in Revenge of Cobra where they were guarding the outer perimeter of headquarters. And he said, you know that feeling I got? He goes, I'm not feeling it again. And they went in, and that's right after they caught Storm Shadow stealing the part of the Weather Dominator. And it was kind of cool that Short-Fuze had a few lines, but Steeler pretty much just Worlds Without End. That was his big one, and then the part with him and Short-Fuze and Mass Device, which was nice because it made it look like they were like best buddies, in that, and then nothing after that with the two of them. So it's nice that they had them out in two different packs together. In the Ultimate Battles pack with the Mobat, the Hiss Tank, and the Treble Bubble, and like 4 of the Cobras and Stalker. And then in their 2-pack here with Steeler and Short-Fuze. Wow, if I can put this up here correctly. If I don't look, usually I can line it up pretty good. But yeah, the box art of this was really good. And then you got the back. So there it is. I don't see the point of that, but I guess it works sometimes. But I do like the fact that they came with blast effects for Steeler, and like I said, I have a video I'm going to show you where doing that. But where do Short-Fuze and Steeler stand in my headcanon, my Joe-verse? Well, Short-Fuze has a special place in my heart. My original 13, and he's their mortar man, but the mortar isn't used much in modern warfare anymore, so it's like his role kind of was delegated to something else, and they even showed that in the cartoon. He basically was working a desk when Flint and Lady J called him, to Cobra, which is kind of sad. But it was nice to see him in action in Battle for the Train of Gold. I mean, you see him throughout the series as well, just in the background. But I'm pretty sure those are the only episodes they've had voices in. And Steeler occasionally maybe had a voice here and there, but not much. But mostly in the miniseries, first 2 miniseries, they had other lines, I'm sure. But they're all there. That was what I wanted to talk about. Short-Fuze suffers from what I like to call shipwreck syndrome. As you can see, I've got Steeler on a battle stand, and it's nice because you just set him down, pick him up. But the battle stand peg holes on Short-Fuze, as you can see, are itty bitty. And the older battle stands are even bigger. I haven't found a battle stand that fits for these characters yet. Him and Shipwreck. That's why I call it Shipwreck Syndrome, because Shipwreck was the first one, and where you can't fit a battle stand, them on a battle stand, and it really sucks. So they just got these itty bitty baby peg holes, or baby peg holes. I do like how they got the pockets on both arms on both characters. That's really cool. So that's Steeler on Short-Fuze in my headcanon. He's a cool character. Where I would place him, he's on the reserve list. He's one of those characters that his job was, it became obsolete. And so, but he knows triangulation, so he can call in airstrikes, he can do all that stuff. So he's still a valuable member of the team. His job became null and void. And Steeler, well, he was a tank jock, so he can be anywhere, wherever there's a tank. Not how many missions call for tanks though, because G.I. Joe's supposed to be covert. And it's like, okay, we're going in covert, but we're going to have a tank. Yeah, so it didn't happen very often. So I get why. I got to tell it my way. That was Short-Fuze's line in G.I. Joe Menace of the Mass Device, the very first miniseries. So I'm kind of all over the place with these two characters because it's hard to place them because they're original Joes, so I have a fondness for them. But yet, Short-Fuze's job was totally Nolan Void, and Steeler. I mean, yeah, there are occasions where they use tanks, but not very often. So he's like, to me, he's the head of the motor pool. He's a lieutenant, so he's an officer. I know they portrayed him as a sergeant in the comics. They even gave him the rank of E5 in the comic book file cards. But on his file card, he's an 01, and then later on, an updated file card made him a first lieutenant, which over the years he should be a captain by now. Actually, they need to bring back Sergeant Slaughter. They've got Sergeant Slaughter. In fact, I got quite a few Sergeant Slaughter. Nope, not that one. Oh, there he is. I don't want to run over my cat down here under my feet. Yeah. They have an updated Sergeant Slaughter that came with Mercer not too long ago. Pretty cool set. I'll probably be taking a look at this when I do an update for Sergeant Slaughter. Coming up here pretty soon, right after summer. You know, I have my original Sergeant around here somewhere. Probably back there. So I even have the Slaughter's Marauders, Sergeant Slaughter as well. So I have 3 different Sergeant Slaughters. I think that's all of them that they have for the classified series so far. So they brought back Sergeant Slaughter. But he's also in the Action Force line, the Valaverse line. So got 2 figures over there too. So I think 5 in the classified size. So but you can mix and match the Valaverse with the classified. So which I think is pretty cool. They're 2 different toy companies, but saying one of the designers who worked on G.I. Joe is the head of Valaverse, so that works. So for Short-Fuze and Steeler, I'll show them to you together. It's a nice 2-pack, and like I said, I got a video where I'll show you at the end that has them together. Now, Short-Fuze will stand up okay on his own, but you know, I can't really show you on the table, but he'll stand up pretty good. I mean, he's just balancing. So he does stand pretty good on his own, but it helps to have a battle stand under him when you're trying to take pictures and video of him. And for the record, I'll put these 2 together as well because they came with the Ultimate Battles pack. And for some reason, they brought out a tan, beige, whatever kind of color you want, really light color. Yeah, look, it really did not work with the modern figures either. I mean, you really had to work to get him down in there to where he wasn't. I mean, you can see his crotch, for crying out loud. He knew he had shot, which is why I had this Steeler in there for display. But even back in the day, you could tell this tank really wasn't made for this size of figures. But they probably had it for something else and went, ooh, we'll put it in that, we'll set it up for the G.I. Joe team, which is nice. They had a green tank back in the day. It's that nice modern display. Show off my tank. Pretty cool looking tank. Treads are awesome. I mean, they're nice rubbery treads. They're not cheap. So it's a well-built toy, and they just remolded it 2 or 3 times. I'm glad I was able to acquire a couple of them. So we got that. And that's kind of my take on Short-Fuze and Steeler and Short-Fuze. I mean, if you have any questions, let me know. I do know a lot about the characters. You know, I didn't have them when I wrote my G.I. Joe Lady Bloodright movie or my Dungeons and Disinformation. G.I. Joe Lady Bloodright, my update on that is I'm still waiting for a voice actor who's in the chat right now to give me the last voices, and I will put out the first part of it. Well, thank you, Solo Sinner. I appreciate that so much. Oh, you just don't know. We're on a 0 budget around here, so every little bit helps. And so I appreciate that. That's a big help. Thank you so much. Entertaining, informative stream. I like the way you covered these guys. Can tell you're a fan. Small tip to show appreciation for your content. Small tip. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. And welcome in. I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to be back every week all summer long for the next 11 weeks for a total of 12 Joe Takes Next week, I'm going to be looking at scrap iron. Got him back there behind my MMS, if I can point to the right place. And week after that, I'll be looking at crankcase and the awe strikers. So that's why they're out here. I got a couple of them out. I got a few of them out here. So I do have a lot of awe strikers, but I was only able to find a couple of them, to be honest. And yes, very awesome. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. You know, and we do have a membership on From the Hilt, but it's mostly for the music. But you know, we do, when I do my Joe Takes, they're members first as well until they come out for promos. The little promo video, like I'm going to show here in just a minute. But just bought the Off Striker because I wanted crankcase. Yeah, that's kind of why I bought it. I bought it too. It's a pretty cool vehicle, but I'll get into that in a couple of weeks. So in my episode 80, I like to do something big in the like 80, 75, 77. The last episode I did Dreadnought, so I did the whole sub team, which was really cool. I had a lot of fun doing that. Off Striker, it's a pretty awesome vehicle, and I do like the new one. These are the retro ones, so I have some of these I'm going to show off in a couple of weeks. I got like 4 of them out here. I do have a couple of black ones, but those are the ones I must have put somewhere else because they weren't with my green ones on my tan one. I got my tan one as well. So I've got some Odd Strikers to show off in a couple of weeks in crankcase. And next week, it's going to be all about our buddy here, Scrap Iron, our boy. So I'll take a look at this real quick. This will be the next Joe Take. Scrap Iron with his missile launcher that's almost like a mini tank too. So we'll have some fun next week taking a look at this guy. That's the only Cobra I'm looking at this month, which is a bummer. I just dropped something and heard it fall, but I'll find it. I'm always dropping something on Joe Take. But I do love the characters, yes. Like I said, I did write a play motion movie that I've made. You can check out G.I. Joe Dungeons and Disinformation. Good timing to do the weekly Joe content. Yo Joe June. Yes, that's why I like to do it in the summertime. We used to do something in July called Cobra Convergence, but the founder doesn't do a lot of G.I. Joe content anymore, so we don't do that anymore. But if you check it out, there's a lot of Cobra Convergence stuff. 8 years of it, 8 or 9 years. They missed a year, so they actually did it for a decade. So they did Cobra Convergence for a while, and I had the honor of being in the last season of it. So I did my Crimson Guard review, my Joe Takes 50 for Cobra Convergence 8, if I remember right, 8 or 9. And man, they did a lot of them, so it's hard to say. But yeah, and they've got a lot of stuff coming out for the Classified series that I'm on. The Vamp Mark II. I love the Vamp, so I love that clutch because I have the original sitting right here. And so they brought this one out just recently as a Classified, so we can order that now. It's on pre-order, and I'll probably miss it because I don't have any money to get it. And it'll be a while before I get it. I see that, but because YouTube likes to take their chunk too. But I do appreciate it, Solo Center, and that's my take on Short-Fuze and Steeler. 2 of the OG-13. I'm glad I got to talk about them. I was excited to get this done. I had this all prepped all day, so I do have the one more video to show you, and then I'm out. So thank you all so much for joining me. I appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoy my Joe Takes, and I'll be back next week for Scrap Iron. Tomorrow night will be Radio from the Hilt, where we're doing funky favorites, novelties, and parody songs. And so we're going to have some fun doing that. And then we're back on Fridays where we're talking about the movie Rush Hour as our topic take, but plus all our regular shenanigans on Fridays. So hope you guys have a good night, and thank you for joining me. If you're watching the replay, thank you. Oh, I better do this while I'm here. I better give StreamYard their due. And then I appreciate StreamYard too. It's without whom I wouldn't be able to do all this craziness and hang out with you guys and be able to talk to these characters that I love so much. And I didn't play my Short-Fuze video, so I better do that. I'll play my Short-Fuze videos too, and then my on Joe Takes. I didn't play those. See, I got to be thinking. But so I've got some videos for you, but then I'm out, and we'll see you next time on Joe Takes.
Yo, Joe! Code name, Short-Fuze, Mortar Soldier, file name, Eric W. Freistadt, grade, E5 Sergeant, U.S. Army. Birthplace, Chicago, Illinois, primary specialty, artillery, secondary specialty, infantry engineer, graduated, artillery school, engineer school, advanced infantry training, preferred weapon, M2. Short-Fuze was chosen from the top of his class to join the G.I. Joe team at its inception. Short-Fuze comes from military family, father and grandfather, both career top sergeants. Enjoys abstract mathematics and can plot artillery azimuths and tribulations in his head. His artillery experience and expertise helped the Joes win many battles. His love for abstract mathematics make him somewhat of a nerd, however. No one would dare tease him. It seems he's quite sensitive about it and can lose his temper very quickly. Short-Fuze continued his regular military service until he received word about the original G.I. Joe team reorganizing its members. He returned with full support. From General Hawk's file. In all my days, I've never seen a guy remember the information he does. Short-Fuze can plot artillery triangulations in his head faster than someone with a compass. He pinpoints targets with over 95% accuracy and provides the team with a huge advantage. The one thing you don't want to do around him is mock his gift of intelligence. The guy's temper flares up mighty quick, and everyone best stand back to let him cool down. He loves his job and can be counted on to lend the support we need. Submitted by Stalker. Short-Fuze is logical and sensitive, has a tendency to blow his stack, hence the nickname, Short-Fuze. Make me mad, and I'll get more than even. I can pinpoint targets with over 95% accuracy, so that we give Cobra forces a real incentive to turn tail and run, if they know what's good for them.
Here's Short-Fuze's song, Fire for Effect by AI personality, Mason Tyler Shaw. He doesn't like me at all.
From the streets of Chi-Town, razor stand tall. Son of top sergeants, yeah, I answer the call. Artillery's my language, numbers my code. Drop a shell, make 'em run, watch the battlefield explode. Ain't no compass, I don't need a map. Just give me the range, I'll set the trap. One shot, two shot, mortar in flight. Better duck down, 'cause I don't miss at night. Fire for effect, lock it in, let it rain. Strike 'em where it targets neutralized. Yeah, I'm a soldier built to withstand. The numbers make sense, but the fight's in my hands. Mess with my mind, you'll see what I do. And I ain't called Short-Fuze for nothing, it's true. Just mess around and find out. Kick it.
And now, as promised, here's the On Joe Take 78 promo with a closer look at the figures. Good night, my friends.
Forward, keep it moving, steel and fire, steel and fire. One calls the thunder, one drives ahead. Steel and fire, brothers in the fight. One brings the thunder, one keeps it tight. Steel and fire, rolling through the haze. Two old soldiers lighting up the blaze. Wave out when the engines turn. One runs hot, one slow to burn. Back and forth like they've done for years. Half in shout and half in gears. No bright spotlight, no grand parade. Just the kind of men the mission made. When the line bends, they hold it fast. One drops steel and one rolls past. One reads distance, one reads ground. Guard with eyes on the team. Snake eyes, silent and mean, but tough to rile. Roadblock rhymes and cooks with style. Duke has the first shirt, making with a plan. Cobra Commander schemes with his clan. Scarlet sharp hits, hard flips fast. Destro's armor gleams from the past. My G.I. Joe takes fierce and honest view. Red versus blue, it's up to you. Stay a while and listen for the consumerism. My G.I. Joe's takes giving with enthusiasm. Sergeant shifting sneaks in disguise. Storm Shadow's blade cut through lies. Baroness cold with her deadly aim. Shipwreck laughs, wins the game. Doc's healing hand in the fray. Flint's shotgun clears the way. Major Blood's battle cry echoes near. General Hawk talk leads we cheer. From the hilt on YouTube, tune in for a day. Joe takes to help you with your play. Let's put these characters to the test. I'm Logan, the G.I. Joe gamer, and I play it best. Yo, Joe!